Hi, everyone. This is Introduction to Stress Elimination, a holistic approach, and my name is Carolyn Jones. I have a lot to share with you today, and we're going to make it very meaningful to you as we dive into the philosophy of Dr. Sebi. You may have heard of him. His birth name was Alfredo Bowman, and a quote from his library is, "Make one healthy choice every day." So that is saying that you don't have to just do a crash. I'm changing the way I eat, changing my lifestyle in 24 hours. You can do one thing every day consistently until you've built a new healthy life. And he was a big proponent of the types of foods that we ate, alkaline versus acidic. As you see in this chart, acidic foods can increase your risk for cancer, liver problems, and heart disease. And some foods and beverages produce less acid than sodas or protein, but they still don't provide the major alkalizing effect of most fruits and vegetables. Of course, you know, sodas are laden with sugar, and alcohol is laden with sugar as well. Some alkaline foods that you might want to increase in your diet are avocado, also known, and amaranth, also known as callaloo, bell peppers, kale, arugula. Oh my God, I love arugula. Tomatoes, cherry and plum, okra, dandelion greens. A lot of you eat dandelion, you don't even realize it. It's in the salad packages that they have. Turnip greens, lettuce. Iceberg lettuce has no nutritional value, so you should stay away from it. Watercress, tomatillos, they're delicious. You can mostly find those in Spanish neighborhoods, and they are delicious fried, you know, just sauteed in the pan. Delicious. Green onions and olives, zucchini. I love sauteing zucchini, the yellow and the green zucchini, yellow squash and squash. I see there they have Mexican squash, mushrooms. I love them. Cucumbers, cactus, and prickly pears. Prickly pear makes a wonderful drink. You can boil it down and make a nice tea. The small bananas, soursop, tamarind, papaya, cantaloupe, that's jelly coconuts, plums, figs, peaches, mangoes, berries, limes, oranges, cherries, cherries, apples, pears, I love pears, seeded grapes, seeded raisins, currants, dates, and prunes. So those are a short list of alkaline foods. The short list of acidic foods to avoid are fresh and processed meats. So, you know, your bologna, your salami, your turkey, the one that's in the packages is processed and filled with preservatives. It's good to avoid those. Eggs, you know, it has a lot of cholesterol. Beans, some beans. Coconut oil is the only cooking oil that's not acidic. Olive oil has low acidity. Salt, high sodium condiments, cheese, you know, those dairy products, they create a lot of mucus in your body, and some grains. Then he has nuts and seeds and oils. So what you should know is nut and seed butters are acceptable. Hemp seeds, raw sesame tahini butter. Oh, it's delicious. I'm going to give you a recipe in a minute. Walnuts and Brazil nuts. Now the tahini, you can get the tahini butter. And I just recently learned how to make a great tahini sauce. I don't know if you like falafels, but you know that tahini sauce that they put on it, that white sauce? Well, I have learned to make it. And I do my own thing. I have a small food processor, and I take some of the tahini butter. I get it from the Indian grocery store up on Coney Island Avenue here in Brooklyn, and spoon about 2 tablespoons in the food processor. Of course, it's according to how many falafels, because I put them on falafels that I'm making. And you know, falafel mix is available. All you have to do is add water to make your falafels. Of course, you don't make them too loose, just firm enough, let it sit for a while and put it in the cooking oil. We'll talk about cooking oil in a moment. And with the tahini butter that I put in the food processor, you know, it already has oil on top of it, its own nut oil. So I add a small, maybe a half an onion in there, white or red, it doesn't matter. A little bit of garlic paste or garlic cloves I haven't used, but you could. And they also have the crushed garlic. And they have garlic powder, so you could put that in there, onion powder, just a little bit of sea salt and some black pepper. And I can't wait to try this week. I'm going to put some green peppers, red peppers, orange peppers, and yellow peppers in it, so I can give the sauce a little bit of chips of color. You know, I like colorful food. And whip it all up in the word processor, in the food processor. And you have your sauce. You add a little bit of water, certainly a little lemon oil, and the water to the consistency that you want. I've really gotten very used to and love making my own dressings. I had made that my New Year's resolution was to experiment with dressings. And I've been making ginger carrot dressing, ginger dressing, ginger cilantro dressing, garlic dressing, you know, garlic onion dressing. I've just been going at it. So the tahini was just a new addition to what my plan was. So and now we're going to go to oils. So you're not to cook olive oil because it is not supposed to be cooked under high heat. I noticed on the shelf now they have olive oil for high heat. I really don't know the story behind that, so I just avoid it altogether. And also coconut oil, don't cook it. It's stated to not cook with coconut oil. However, some people do use coconut oil for making coconut shrimp. I don't know. Grapeseed oil, sesame oil, hemp seed oil, and avocado oil are all very delicious. And by the way, sesame oil and avocado oil have a high heat property. So you can do your sauteing or frying with avocado or sesame oil or grapeseed oil and hemp seed oil. But vegetables, of course, we mentioned before, callaloo. I'm just an avocado addict. Bell peppers, Mexican squash, cucumber, delish, dandelion greens, garbanzo beans, as you know, chickpeas, cactus flower, cactus leaf, kale, delicious. Have you ever had kale chips? Lettuce, all except iceberg, as I mentioned before. Mushrooms, except shiitake, which is interesting because shiitake mushrooms in the herbal community are known as very healthy mushrooms. So a lot of teachings from Dr. Sebi clash with other herbal teachings, but that's with any science. Mexican cactus, okra, olives, onions. I'm not a big fan of okra unless it's raw cut up where it doesn't get that slimy consistency, and I hide it in a salad. So as long as it's raw and hidden, I don't have a problem eating it. Sea vegetables, nori. I love nori. If you sear some salmon, and just as the salmon comes out of the pan, you put a sheet of nori on it. It looks like seaweed, but it's different from seaweed. And you put it over the salmon and just let it hug the salmon. Oh my goodness, it is delicious. Squash, tomato, cherry, and plum only. Tomatillos, as I mentioned before, turnip greens, zucchini. Yay, turnip greens made his list. Love zucchini, watercress. I never did personally, and I really don't, I'd have to be shown what that is. Wild arugula. Perhaps next class, I will have researched it and pulled up a picture for us so we can all learn. Fruits, apples, bananas, the small ones, because he said they have the seeds in them. Berries, no cranberries. I don't know about that because cranberries help with urinary issues. So as I said, certain things I don't necessarily go along with, but that's not to negate the value of his list. Elderberries in any form. As you know, elderberries build the immune system and they're very good, excuse me, in this COVID environment. And they said a second wave is brewing, not to scare you, but to just let you know, keep your immune system strong. You know, cantaloupe, cherries, currants, dates, figs, seeded grapes, key limes, mango, melons, orange. They say the Seville are sour preferred and say they're difficult to find. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Papayas, peaches, pears, plums, as I mentioned before, prickly pear, delicious. When I was in Sedona, Arizona, I experienced prickly pear lemonade. Delicious. Prunes, raisins, soft jelly coconuts, and soursop, as well as tamarind. Oh, how I love tamarind. So this nutritional guide, I will attach to the lesson. And if you would like Ms. Grable to send you the whole lesson that I teach formally on Fridays, just give her your email address. She'll have the nutritional guide that can be printed out or pulled up on your computer and read in full. These are sort of like excerpts from it. By the way, the number that you'll find on the nutritional guide, I'm not so sure that it's valid. You check it for yourself. So important things to remember. If food is not listed on the nutritional guide, it's not recommended. Drink a gallon of natural spring water daily. And I would say about that last statement, use your own judgment, okay? Anytime you're using Dr. Seabu's products, he advises that you take the products 1 hour prior to pharmaceuticals. So that could be for any herbal medication, or I shouldn't say medication, herbal treatment. All of Dr. Seabu's products can be taken together with no interaction. That means no contraindication, except for, he didn't mention in his, I have a list of teas and stuff, and I don't believe he mentioned St. John's wort. And I might have said this in a previous lecture, that St. John's wort has the highest level of contraindications. In other words, it reacts badly with pharmaceuticals. So you should always speak to a doctor before you take St. John's wort. That's why I don't usually include it in my herbal formulas, because I never know what someone is taking. No animal products, no dairy, no fish, no hybrid foods, and no alcohol. That's what he recommends. I do love fish. I love salmon. I love tuna fish. I love whiting. So what I do is I do other things to alkaline my blood, and I also do colon cleanses. Natural growing grains are alkaline based, and he lists the grains. And many of the grains listed have been made into pasta, breads, flour, and cereal. And they can be found in most health food stores. So you can find almond flour, so many other different kinds of flour, cereal. I just recently found that kamut has a high gluten content. So that's something to keep in mind. And he also advises that you avoid using a microwave. It will kill your food. I stopped using a microwave years ago because I really don't like the consistency of the food once a microwave gets to it. I'm sort of like an oven, top of the stove kind of gal. And no canned or seedless fruits. I really don't. I used to love, fruit cocktails when I was growing up and those kinds of things, but such a high sugar content, and fruit already has sugar in it. It's just too much for me. Spices and seasonings. Basil, bay leaf, cloves. Cloves make a wonderful tea. Dill. I love putting dill weed, even in my tuna fish, even on my whiting, not just salmon. Oregano, parsley, savory, sweet basil, tarragon, thyme, and don't forget cilantro. And I understand it makes a great tea, but I'm so busy using it in my avocado dressing that I missed that. Pungent and spicy flavors. I'm sure you recognize all of these spices, especially cayenne. Oh, he has cilantro there. Very good, Dr. CB. Onion powder, of course, garlic powder, habanero, that's your spice. Sage, love sage. And there's a plant-based sausage that I get, and I add sage to it, a little bit of cayenne, because I like my sausages a little spicy. And, I make a great sausage, I tell you. For salt, pure sea salt, that beautiful pink Himalayan sea salt's the best. Powdered granulated seaweed. Now, I haven't tried that yet, but I'm going to try that. And as I mentioned before, nori, kelp, it might have a little sea taste, but that doesn't bother me. For your sweets, date sugar. Used to use it on my great-grandson's cereal, according to his mother's instruction. But now she just puts raisins with the cereal to give it the sweet taste. A pure agave syrup is from a cactus, so that's recommended. Please, white sugar is very not good for you at all. Okay. So now we have the list of vegetables, as we saw before, and I went through the list, so I'm not going to go through that again. And the fruits, we went through that, but we have all natural herbal teas. So allspice, anise. Anise makes a wonderful tea. Burdock. Burdock is great for the hair and skin. And I do have that in inventory. Chamomile is great for the nervous system. It calms you. Elderberry, as I mentioned before, is great for the immune system. Fennel, great to cook with. Ginger, fantastic for respiratory and also cleansing the blood. You can also get ginger in a paste. That's how I make my ginger carrot dressing. Raspberry tea. Now I'm going to tell you, I don't care for raspberry tea because it's too sweet, but to each his own. Tila, I've never heard of that tea, but I'm going to look it up. Grains, as I mentioned, kamut before, that is high in gluten, but quinoa is delicious. I sometimes make a small amount and then mix it in a salad. Spelt, my great-grandbaby's mom she used to make spelt bread. It's really good. And wild rice is delicious. The others I'm not familiar with, so I can't comment on them. Perhaps you'll tell me. We talked about fruits and nuts and oils before. So I taught all of that to urge you to take care of yourself. And I also included an excerpt from one of my blogs on my website, The Healing Project Finally Unmasked. And it talks about considering the mother wound and honoring our mothers. Of late, I've been hearing so much about mother-daughter conflicts, and even in some cases, son-mother conflicts. And there are a lot of things we may have to, and I'm changing the subject from diets a little bit to spirit. We may have to forgive ourselves for, and our parents for, mother and father, because they're human beings and are prone to errors just like we are. And that really came to my spirit. I was talking to a friend last night about the fact that all of the angst about the do's and shouldn't haves and why'd you do this is that bubbled up while our mothers were alive. Once they passed on, it just didn't mean anything anymore. So if you move yourself to a place where it doesn't mean anything before you lose them, then you would have considered the mother wound early, and you're lucky. However, considering the mother wound at any time is a path directly to you being forgiven for whatever errors you have made in your life, and honoring yourself as a mother and a father. We're coming up on Mother's Day and Father's Day, and we are all here on this planet to learn whatever we were put here to learn. So part of the self-forgiveness process includes diet. We're back to diet again, diet and detoxification, reducing our stress. That's big, because chronic stress will make you ill. Creative self-expression, get into the arts, do photography, color. They have adult coloring books. Take nature walks. Take a continuing education class. We may mention that a little bit later. Use prayer and meditation as a calming practice. Get your annual physical examinations. Just because you're into herbs and tinctures and hydrosols and flower essences doesn't mean that you knock the Western medicine practice off your schedule. No, you get your annual physical examinations. I use those to find out what's going on with me. And then if there is anything going on with me, I address it herbally. My records show all of the supplements and herbs that I take. I tell the doctor how I take care of myself. Laughter. Got to keep laughter in the equation. As I mentioned before, forgiveness of self and others. And something that helped me a lot was reading. We don't read enough. And there's something called bibliotherapy. That is self-help books. There are wonderful authors out here who have told their story as to how they helped themselves. That includes me, and you'll see the titles later. But use these books to bring yourself to a state of wholeness. Acupuncture and acupressure are wonderful ways to really clear out the blockages in your body. If you're afraid of needles, like I was for a very long time before I tried acupuncture, I was surprised it didn't hurt. I had heard it didn't hurt for a long time, but it didn't register. I just couldn't believe that you could put a needle in me and it would not hurt. But when I finally gave into the process, which it was when I was having a sinus headache that was going to keep me from going to work that night. I was getting ready to do a 4-hour class at College of New Rochelle. I taught media topics there in Harlem. And I was in Brooklyn, and I didn't see any way possible that I could teach that night. And that forced me to go and try the treatment. I was at the end of my rope for help. And I gave myself to the process. And she even did moxibustion, where she heated the needles at the end, and then she put a heating lamp on me so that it would keep the needles warm inside me. And she treated my sinuses. 45 minutes later, I woke up and I was able to go and teach the 4-hour class. And I distinctly remember not getting to sleep until 1 o'clock that morning. I was so energized and made whole. If you don't want to do acupuncture, you can do acupressure, on certain energy points. Physical therapy, reflexology and massage. I'm so happy to say I got my reflexology certification, and you can do a little reflexology right now. We did it before. Rub those ears, don't forget, this is a calming process, and you're also massaging your organs. You need to manipulate your organs and bring that circulation and energy to them and remove stagnant energy from them. Vitamin therapy. I highly recommend, if you have joint pain, using joint 7 and shark cartilage. You can get that at Vitamin Shop at reasonable prices. And add that to your supplement list to keep joint pain and inflammation down, along with your herb teas and your joint pain creams and oils. Travel, wonderful way to find a new vision for yourself, to just maybe jump on the Long Island Railroad, or go to Grand Central Station and go to New York Botanical Garden. Go to a part of New York that doesn't look like New York. Feel like you did something, And the trains aren't crowded, so why not? Continuing education, as I mentioned before, there are plenty of free classes out here that you could learn something new, or just meet new people, see new faces. We need to see new faces, not the same faces all the time. Not that we don't love the faces that we see, but keep ourselves brand new, and make other people feel brand new because we're there and they never saw us before. Bubble baths. A lot of times people don't want to take baths, but yet you'll go to church and get baptized. That's water. So, take the time to baptize yourself. Get in the tub, bubbles, the whole 9 yards. Relax yourself. Shut the house down and be with yourself. Don't be afraid to listen to your own thoughts and clear your mind. Walk on the beach. In a minute, it'll be warm enough. Go to the beach, get some sand between your toes. It won't hurt. You don't have to get in the water if you don't want to, but I always like to get to the edge and let the waves lick up on my feet. I don't get in New York water, sorry. And long walks in the park, always great. Get that respiratory system going. If you have an issue with a lot of walking, you can walk to a bench and sit down and relax yourself and people watch. People are great entertainment, and pets too. That said, why don't we do a little mantra? Rub your hands together. Put them over your eyes and repeat after me. Love above me. Love below me. Love unto me. Love in my surroundings. Love to all. Love to the universe. Peace before me. Peace behind me. Peace at my left. Peace at my right. Peace above me. Peace below me. Peace unto me. Peace in my surroundings. Peace to all, and peace to the universe. Light before me. light behind me, light at my left, light at my right, light above me, light below me, light unto me, light in my surroundings. In all directions circulates divine energy. In all directions circulates divine joy. Self-enlightened, in beauty, in unity, with all existence. Remover of all sadness. Manifestation of kindness. Always within everyone. Eternal and spectacular. Remembering that all disease begins in the gut. Take care of your gut. It's very important that you take care of your center, your plumbing system. Remembering that herbal formulas have many benefits. I always like to repeat this. Keep you reminded. Relieves your pain, curbs your self-destructive habits, helps detoxify your organs and cleanse your colon, de-stresses and heals your nervous system. I want you to be at peace. Stimulates your libido. I want you to have a healthy sex life. Strengthen your immune system. Clear your skin. Address respiratory issues. Treat insomnia, that's not inability to sleep, and hyposomnia, sleeping too much. And it soothes grief. If you need to know more about these types of formulas, feel free to contact me. This is the apothecary for the intestines. As I mentioned before, Cascara sagrada bark, 12 herbs formula, and Dr. Mission. I don't tell you about anything that I don't do for myself. Golden milk formula, which you would take in oat milk, rice milk, or almond milk. And oh, I love oat milk the best. I started out with almond milk. I've tried it in rice milk. Rice milk is a little light for me, but I love the body of oat milk. And the golden milk formula that I make is turmeric, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and a pinch of black pepper. The black pepper helps digest the turmeric and the cinnamon. I also carry 12 herbs immune building self-heal formula, which was created by an acupuncturist, a man of color that I work with, Dr. Bashara Wilson, and he has allowed me to share this formula with the community. If you have any questions, this is my information. Jot it down and give me a call or email me. These are the books that I've written that I told you about that are available to you. And if you're interested in those, you certainly can get an autographed copy. All you need to do is let me know that you are interested in the purchase. This is how you get to my website, where you can read other blogs that I've written, www.behealed.info. And as always, love life and live life and love. Signing off, Carolyn Jones at your service. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.